Is the NBA protecting SGA? The hidden truth behind the whistle. What if I told you one of the NBA's biggest rising stars was quietly being handed the keys to the finals? Not by his coach, not by his teammates, but by the referees themselves. Every foul call, every free throw, every non-call. What if it all added up to something deeper than just a good player getting aggressive? And we're talking about gilgeous-alexander, the MVP frontrunner, the face of a rising Thunder squad, and, according to a growing number of fans, the league's newest foul merchant. But is it just hate? Or is there something real happening here that no one in the league office wants to talk about? To find out, I spent hours combining through playoff film, digging into advanced analytics, comparing foul trends, and even tracing how star making in the NBA has evolved over the years. What I found? It's not just about what we see, it's about what we're not being told. And when you pull back the curtain, it's a bit disturbing. The eye test is failing us. Let's start with what's obvious. You've seen it, I've seen it, fans across the country have seen it. Shea driving into the lane, initiating contact, flailing legs, swinging arms, and then getting the call. Every single time. In Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, he got 9 free throws in the first quarter alone. That's not just high, it's historic. The whistle seemed glued to the ref's mouths, going off even with the slightest contact, or worse, no contact at all. On one possession, he tripped over his own foot, fell backward, and still got the whistle. Another time, he pump faked, jumped sideways into a defender who was vertical, and got 2 shots. Come on now. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards can absorb a shoulder to the chest, get clobbered at the rim, and the refs stay silent. Same with Jamal Murray, who get visibly slapped on the arm, and the play continues. Steph Curry takes more hits than a hockey player when running off screens, and still gets nothing. And yet, every close game, Shea gets those calls. Not sometimes, not most of the time, every time. And we're not talking about minor touches either. We're talking about game-altering fouls in pivotal moments. Fouls that flip momentum, silence crowds, and shift the energy of a playoff series. It's not just about advantage anymore. It's about control. And there's the free throw illusion. Here's where things get twisted. When you look at the box score, Shea averages 9 free throw attempts per game in the playoffs, which is not unheard of. James Harden in his prime averaged more. Even Embiid sometimes exceed that. So what's the problem? Well, volume is part of it. Shea leads all guards in drives per game. He takes more shots inside the arc than anyone at his position. More paint touches, more whistles, right? Maybe. But here's where it gets weird. I ran the numbers. I took 5 other high usage guards: Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Steph Curry, and De'Aaron Fox. Then I asked this simple question: what if each of them took the same number of shots inside the arc as Shea, which was 16 per game? The results, even if normalized, none of them come close to Shea's free throw rate. Not even Brunson, who gets hit constantly as a physical, post-heavy guard. In other words, it's not just the drives, it's the calls. Shea isn't simply rewarded for his aggression, he's insulated by it. He plays like someone who knows he's going to get the whistle before the play even finishes. And that's not normal. That's not balanced. That's engineered. Manipulating the data in 1954, a man named Darrell Huff wrote a book called How to Lie with Statistics. It's still taught in universities today, and one of its central themes, averages are dangerous. Here's how it applies to Shea. Let's say Shea gets 14 free throws in a tight game versus the Nuggets, then only 3 in a blowout win over the Spurs. On paper, his average looks fine, 8 or 9 per game, but in reality, the distribution of those calls changes everything. That's called weighted manipulation. Front load the big games, the moment where it counts, and let the blowouts balance the numbers. It's a sleight of hand that makes a skewed system look fair. And remember, the average stat sheet doesn't show timing. A foul in the final minute of a 2-point game is 10 times more valuable than in one in garbage time. So yeah, the box score looks clean, but when you dive into it, when and how those fouls were called, you realize it's not the numbers lying, it's what they're hiding. The Steph Curry problem. Let's drive this home with an example that'll blow your mind. Shea had 7 games with 15 or more free throws in the 2025 regular season. Steph Curry, one of the most targeted, chased, and physically defended players in NBA history, has had 3 such games in his entire 16-year career. That's not just a stat, that's a scandal. Steph gets hacked off the ball, bumped while shooting, and practically tackled on closeouts. But he's not built to get calls. Shea is. He draws contact in ways the league has grown to reward. That's the difference. But when you look at it side by side, it doesn't feel like Shea's drawing fouls. It feels like he's being gifted them. And this is where you start to see the outline of something more deliberate. The face of the league agenda. We've seen this story before. The NBA isn't just a sports league, at least anymore. It's a brand. It needs faces, icons, personalities to put on billboards, magazine covers, and sneaker campaigns. With LeBron, Steph, and KD aging out, the league has been on the hunt for its next poster child. They tried Zion, but injuries sidelined that hope. And off-court things that you probably know about. Ja Morant brought fireworks, and also grenades, but also off-court concerns. Enter Shea, smooth game, quiet leadership, fashion icon, zero controversies, no glaze. He's everything the NBA wants, bundled into one humble, likable package. And make no mistake, the league pushes its stars. It always has. Jordan got calls, so did Kobe. LeBron built an empire on and one yells, so why not Shea? It's not a conspiracy, it's a business decision, and every business needs a franchise player. The impossibility of proof. Okay, but where's the hard evidence? Where's the memo from Silver saying, give SGA more whistles? Well, there isn't one. There never will be. That's not how influence works in the modern NBA. The proof is indirect. It's in referee tendencies. It's whistle timing, in which stars get respected and which get ignored. It's in what gets called and what doesn't. And even if someone did track every possession, they'd run into subjectivity. One analyst's foul is another's no call. That's the brilliance of the system. It's not rigged, it's shaped, tilted, weighted. The effect is subtle, but the results are massive. Patterns don't lie. Game after game, it's the same story. Shea gets early whistles, opposing defenders back off. Thunder build momentum, refs keep blowing. Meanwhile, players like Murray and Ant get mauled and nothing happens. The frustration builds. Players complain, coaches throw up their hands, and fans, they just stop watching. The product feels fake, predictable, scripted. And this isn't just emotional bias, it's real. The eye test, the analytics, and the patterns are all saying the same thing. This isn't a coincidence, it's a campaign. This has happened before. We've been here before. 2002, Lakers vs. Kings. Tim Donaghy and the ref scandal. Phantom fouls. Shady officiating. Manipulated outcomes. 2016, Spurs vs. Warriors. Bad no call on a game winner. NBA admits fault 3 days later. It's not new, it's just evolved. Today, the manipulation is cleaner, buried in data, hidden behind friendly commentators and PR-crafted narratives. But if you pay attention, it's still there. So is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander actually manipulating the system, or is the system manipulating us? Either way, the result is the same. A player whose most dangerous move isn't a step back or a floater, it's the whistle. And when playoff basketball becomes a free throw contest, it stops being the sport we love and becomes a storyline we're being fed. Because the modern NBA isn't just about talent, it's about narrative. And right now, the story being written is giving Shea more ink than he may have earned. So, the next time he goes to the line, ask yourself, are we watching greatness or are we watching the script play out?